Hello, guys. Gray here, and Aiden.
Hi.
And welcome back to another
Lego review.
So today we are reviewing the Lego T-1 Typhoon versus T-Rex, set number 7477. A lot of sevens.
Yep.
Should have made it like all sevens, like 7777. Seven. But, anyways, today I'm going to bring you this monster. This monster of a vehicle. Now, on to the minifigures. Okay, guys, first up, for the minifigures, we have Digger. And Digger, I believe, is the leader of the team. He has a nice red headband. As you can see, this minifigure has quite a bit of wear on him, where his band's kind of fading, and half of his mouth is actually taken off, which is kind of sad. I would order new pieces, but in a money crunch right now, so yeah. And plus, I don't want to wait like 2 more weeks for the review. No one wants that. Next we have Specs, who is the helicopter driver, one of the 2 people in the main cockpit, and he comes with this head that I just really love. They all come with some sort of like tactical vest, as you saw last time on Digger, and if you take them off, just a really nice head all around. None of these minifigures have an alternate face, true to form of that time, because the release of this set was in 2005, and they didn't really do that a whole lot. And you might be able to see that little dent in him, and he has some bite marks around the neck, because, well, I got this set used. But it's not so bad that I have to buy another head, so that's why I'm still able to make this video. Okay, so next we have Shadow, and he is one of the, well, I guess in my opinion, Specs and Shadow are the coolest minifigures that this set comes with, especially with his cool stripy face paint. That's just really cool to me. He has a serious expression, a bandolier of some sort of toxins on his, bandolier. And yeah, it's a bandolier full of toxins, and he's just an all-around really cool minifigure. I love the face print. Really accurate to the theme. Okay, next. And finally, we have Viper with his, well, I guess not finally, because we still have something after this. But for the minifigures, this is the last minifigure, we have Viper with his huge machine gun. And taking the machine gun off, so we can just put that off to the side. Okay, he's back in one piece. Yeah, he, just like all his other comrades, Shadow really took the least of the damage from whoever owned it previously. But he's just another one who has some fading around his mouth. And honestly, his face, to me, is one of the less interesting ones, but, it's not horrible. Yeah, no, it's accurate. I like his shades. Yeah, not really a whole lot. He's the only sleeveless member of the team. Also has a belt with some toxins on it. So yeah. And Aiden, you take it from here.
First up, for the dinosaurs of the set, we have the mutant Pteranodon. So this isn't my favorite dinosaur, but it looks pretty cool. Especially if you take some of these legs and put it on his arms, it looks terrifying.
Yeah, he's kind of ugly.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any special features, but he does rest quite good on the propellers of the helicopter when it's not moving. His mouth can open pretty good. He has like a nice little tongue right there. So that's basically all. Oh, his wings have this cool pattern. It looks like it almost looks like robotic in a way, because it has like these joints that are different. The wings can move like if like he wants to dive or something, and the feet, if you want to put him in like a different position. He's pretty cool. His tail's in like a little weird position. He has 2 little spikes, and that's basically all for this guy, whatever, Pteranodon thing. So, on to the next one. Okay, so this is the crap. It's too big. That's better. Okay, guys. This is my favorite one. There's a green version which I also want, but it comes in a more expensive set. Should have been small. Whatever. There are many cool features. If you count in the name of this, I guess it's called T-1 Typhoon versus T-Rex, and it's the T-Rex. It's amazing.
Mutant.
And it's a mutant. Its mouth has 2 clicks in it, and there's an amazing feature. If you can see the tongue, it moves. The tongue moves. I just figured that out while making this video, and then done.
Wait.
Done.
Wait.
It glows, which is surprising because most sets they don't glow. Even
Oh yeah, show them the button.
and then the button that you press right here just lights it up. So lights. It has a rubbery tail, which is mildly actually weird because it really doesn't move that much, and it's weird. It's also weird how these aren't on that, so that confuses me mildly. And this guy definitely needs toe clipping. It's like halfway into his foot. It's just toe basically. Then he has these nub things.
Spurs.
Yep.
Wait, can I?
He has the same arms arms things as the pterodactyl, mutant pterodactyl lizard thing. And also this one actually makes a clicking sound, and this one doesn't. So
I think that might just be
used.
Yeah, I think that might just be the gear being worn, the axle being worn down.
Yeah, and actually I didn't show you this, but on both of these they have little bumps that
A little 2x2 connection.
Yeah, and while Gray was recording about the actual helicopter, I found out that these can act like grips, which is honestly weird. But I think they just did that for design, not for grips. So
Take your dinosaur mountain climbing
yeet.
with the all new dino grips.
Oh, so as you can see, it can move like that, but it also can move that way. Like you can spread out. Whoops, wait, because that came out. He can spread.
You can spread up to 1 click out
Yeah.
of the joint.
Like it's like he can pop his leg out of the socket, which is terrifying. So
Especially when compared to the height of this behemoth. Compared to, okay, look, this is a Lego minifigure. That's Shadow right there. And then the mouth as well, opening this bad boy up. And you can stick a minifigure well inside there.
It's like playing Chubby Bunny.
Oh, yeah.
Right in there.
And one thing before I just show you some quick tips and tricks on modifying the copter, taking these arms off and taking these wings up gives you a terrifying result. Introducing a creature forged in hell. Whatever you call this, it reminds me vaguely of a raptor, although there is a mutant raptor already in the series. We used to own one. And, man, this thing is just terrifying. Just imagine this running at you on all fours. That is terrifying. And especially compare it to the size of, a minifigure. Like, man, he dead. He very dead. And then also, a really hilarious combination. Take the said extra wings, put them on that gigantic behemoth of a T-Rex. Like, come on, this is comedy. Right? This is good.
It's like a little...
Anyways, moving on to the modifications. So, first off, before we get to the review, Normally we would do a speed build and kind of like an opening up of the box and bag, but we bought this used on eBay for the steal price of $55, whereas it normally sells on eBay for
Hundreds.
For, you know, like complete at least like upper 90s to
100.
early to mid hundreds. Well,
Two.
early to mid $100
I
range.
saw like $400.
Okay, fine. It ranges between 95 and like $400 to get this thing complete. And in boxed, you know, you're definitely going more of those upper 100 ranges, mid 100 ranges. And what was this thing's original retail price? This set originally retailed for $70 in stores, which is just crazy for what monster of a vehicle you're getting. So I guess first off, let's take a look at some of its more notable features. You know, you have this huge, gigantic propeller. And although it is wobbly, I do like how they chose this design. Because basically nowadays, if LEGO did something like this, they wouldn't want it to wobble like that, and they'd probably make a more secure and potentially even cooler rotor spin, which I'm all for. Except you see this just nice bit of empty space just in here, you know, it's just so nice, and you can store troops in there. That would be eaten up by some sort of gear shaft. And so I prefer these janky propellers rather than some super cool ultra copter kind of formation. Which, if you haven't checked out my video on the ultra copter, no, I'm kidding. In my dreams. But then again, this was in my dreams, so maybe. Back here you have the other propeller that gives that kind of balances the whole copter out so that it doesn't spin into oblivion and die. I think that's how it works. And then, you know, you have these huge, just like dumbbell machine guns. You know, it's like it's the lifting weights, you know?
Like the dinosaur that eats it can just go, ha.
Yeah, there are two of these, one on each side. So, and these things are just used for mowing through pounds upon pounds of mutant dinosaur flesh. So, yeah, these things, I guess they must have really been invading whatever city they were invading, because this is like more than just a precautionary measure. Like, way more. It must have been serious. Also, there's this huge Technic pin missile down here. I believe that's the technical term for it. And it, you know, it swoogles all over the place. And it also, unlike a bunch of other Technic spring missiles, pin missiles, it has a more dome head, while some of the others are just like kind of thinner. And this thing, by like all the others, by this button, shoots out, and that's gone. Oh, thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
And then you just kind of put this in here. And one problem, though, like one thing that you may find a problem is when you set it down and just like hop. Dang it. Like that, you may have caught it. You may have to slow-mo that part. But this thing popped out of socket. So, you know, that's one of its most notable display problems. There's also, you know, this swivel turret up at the front using one of those ball and socket connections. It really moves all over the place, you know, if you need, for some reason, to go that far up or that far down. It's just kind of hilarious.
Maybe like a pterodactyl's flying above you, you need to go like, pew.
Well, that's for another feature, actually,
like
that
a
we'll get to in a moment.
Oh.
But then, also, there's these side turrets here that just, you know, why? I mean, I love it, personally, because I love turrets.
That looks cool.
Yeah, actually. And I love guns, and I love turrets, and it just works. And then coming up here, we have one of the minifigures in the instructions. It says to put Specs up. Specs is up here using this gigantic machine gun and trying to mow down some mutant flesh. And then right by Specs, there is a winch that I guess you're just supposed to kind of pull it. Although that's kind of fragile, so really you're supposed to turn this, gear over here, this little winch system, and then the rope will go down, And you can also, opening up here, there's a little piece that comes out, and this piece will actually go, it slides right onto here, and basically as you lower it, nope, wrong way, you can have a minifigure hang on, and it's kind of like he's riding the rope down. Yeah, this rope is really small. Well, I mean, it's not really small. The winch system here is like really small and just unconventional. So at the end of the video, I'll give you a little bit of tips and tricks on how to modify your design for either maximum capacity for troops if you have extra people you want to put in here, or just something as simple as upgrading the winch system or one of the guns being less fragile. Next up, going to the back here, we have this back turret that is used if any gigantic prehistoric creature is tailing you. I don't really know how I love how this actually exists, and this is useful in a lot of, man, these propellers, I tell you what, they're obnoxious. I don't know how useful this would be against dinosaurs necessarily. I mean, I guess this is kind of going on the lines of if some sort of mutant pteranodon was following you, you can shoot it down from behind if it's tailing you. But in real world practice, you could use this to shoot down enemy planes and stuff. Really useful military wise. And then, yeah, just you might want to avoid hitting your back rotor there. So yeah, I'm closing this up. And this is a really hard set to review on camera, especially since in order to get all the good angles, you kind of have to hold it the entire time. And that's just pretty annoying, to be completely honest. But that's okay, because there are only 2 other reviews of this online from what I could find. So, in the back here, you also have the targeting system. And interestingly enough, our set came with a unique barcode. We looked up the other sets online, and we could not find a single other example of a barcode. So, yeah, I don't know if this is unique to this thing. It's upside down, but it's the exact shape that if you're going to apply it to this, it happened. And we ordered a sticker sheet separate, because it didn't come with all the stickers and they weren't even placed in the right place the majority of the time. And it still didn't come with a barcode. The instructions didn't even show that. And these were the original instructions for it. And something interesting about the instructions later. Coming up even towards the front. Oh my, see this thing. I put it down on the ground. Missile came out. This also is says a tracking sensor, so that's just a unique little thing. I like how they didn't make I like how they just kind of kept these hood pieces coming down. It really looks nice, especially with the trans ones, and then just the sand colored one. It's a really nice contrast, and you really wouldn't notice it unless you looked closely at all the pieces. Immediately, at least. I mean, I guess it's pretty easy to figure out that these are all the same piece. But anyways, and then coming to the bottom, this landing gear is actually able to be shut up just like this. So better for play, and you can just put them down for display. So yeah. Then coming along, flipping this thing around, you have another little storage compartment that actually doesn't hold anything. And then on the inside, you can see right in there is a little diagram, little sensor. well, no, it's not a diagram thing. It's a computer screen showing the T-Rex that they are attacking and showing a radar and a few other things. And also you can just barely see a chair back there. If I flip this around, you can see the, okay, I have to take this Viper off here. But yeah, you can see the chair right there. And it's just kind of facing the wall, which I thought was weird. So I have, so I actually personally would place it somewhere different. But yeah. Okay guys, this is my section to show you guys who don't care immediately about the originality of the set and necessary resale value on how to make the set better for your possible own personal needs besides just collecting dust on the shelf. So first off, this winch, hard to operate. My solution, take out the propellers because they're annoying for the camera, set them off to the side. That's not a real solution. Please don't remove the roach from the copter unless you're doing some sort of dystopian, broken copter scene. But basically, there's a red Technic pin in here that you can kind of see me push out. You see that little red nubbly right there? That's a red axle, and you will need a slightly longer gray axle and a small gray gear. Basically what you do is you just simply kick that small red axle out of there, hook this through, and just like that, it's much easier to turn and work. Now, in a previous design that I had, I used a slightly larger black gear, but that one would actually scrape against this red awning here. So, oh yeah, these spin. I forgot to show that. But yeah, oh well, turning it the wrong way. Yeah, this is actually a much better solution, albeit it's a little smaller. Some larger fingers still should be able to maneuver this. Next up, these turrets at the front during play, they can just be a hazard. And to make them less of a hazard, you see that negative space right over there? Well, just pop this right up in here, and already it's starting to look better. Do the same thing on the other side, and voila, in my opinion, you've really, it's just a small little detail that for me goes a long way. And if you have the extra parts, I recommend putting either just a trans green cone right here, or a dark gray stud and a trans green cone right here. Or switching this little 3x1, this 3x1 piece into a dark gray variant. That way you don't have to add a stud if you don't want to. I mean, you don't have to either way, but just saying, for dem style points. Next, coming around back, so if you want maximum troop capacity, taking apart this cockpit here, there's this nice little empty space back here that just looks like it's yearning for someone else to be back there. You know, this guy, he gets a seat, but this guy, he just gets a little bar. And why would you need a bar if you aren't going to have someone else sit behind you, you know? So, I mean, that's my interpretation, especially seeing how other LEGO sets make their stuff, you know, and it's more, typically this is designed when you're having multiple people sitting behind each other, or like more than one. So, just simply take that that light gray 1x4 out, and then voila, another guy can actually lean into this little opening. And for proof, let me just get Specs and Shadow here, taking him, and you can now fit Shadow in here. And where previously technically you could fit both of them in here still, the gray bar that would basically be cutting off his face from the rest of the world, and like such a beautiful camo-ified face, you know, you wouldn't want to hide that, so, and you'd want to actually be able to get out of the cockpit semi-successfully, so yeah. And then finally, this is just like more of a nitpicky one. This chair right here, I kind of see that as impractical, so what I'd like to do is just kind of take that chair and move it to the way back in there. Wait. Okay, it's there. It's a little close to the panel, but I'm guessing it should probably be closer to the panel, especially since, you know, the people are guys are supposed to be looking at there anyway. So yeah, you could set that either there, or there's one stud of space off to the side, so you could just either keep the chair there or move it just one over. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a nice day. See ya. Goodbye.